he can talk, he can talk, he can talk, he can talk.
I can sing!
That brilliant line is from the greatest musical never made. Stop the Planet of the Apes, I want to get off. The Simpsons is ultimately a show full of comedy, but also packed full of absolute genius musical moments too. Whether it's a full-on balls to the wall number,
We do.
or a simple jingle.
That name again is Mr. Plow.
It's undeniable that music has played a pivotal role in The Simpsons and has contributed to some of the most memorable moments. So we're going to take a look back at some of the most toe-tapping, can kicking, a poo on the roof musical moments. This is how music made The Simpsons. So we can't have a video celebrating the music of the show without first discussing the iconic Simpsons opening theme song. This intro was composed by Danny Elfman, you know, the guy behind the 1989's Batman score, Edward Scissorhands, and my personal favourite, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It was said that Groening showed Elfman a rough edit of the opening sequence in their initial meeting and brief. This is when Elfman suggested something retro, since the show had such a classic feel. He then wrote the tune in the car on the way back home from the meeting, before recording the demo later on in his house. Elfman sang the 3 opening notes of The Simpsons to himself with 2 friends. And he since stated that the royalties from The Simpsons alone has paid for his health insurance for the last 25 years. That was a pretty productive car journey, cause I just normally stop for McDonald's. However, this is where Elfman's involvement with the show started and ended. Another genius that played a vital role behind the music of The Simpsons was Alf Clausen. The composer had been with the show since the first Treehouse of Horror in 1990. He was approached by Matt Groening to compose for the show, but Alf was initially reluctant, saying he didn't want to work for a cartoon. But Groening was very persuasive and corrected him, informing him that we don't look upon this as a cartoon but a drama where the characters are drawn, and we would like it scored that way. So he took the gig and worked for the show for 27 years. Alf rearranged the theme in season 3 and has since been responsible for composing pretty much all of the iconic musical moments from the show. Chris Ledesma, who has edited every piece of music for The Simpsons, said Alf comes from a showbiz orchestra background where Matt Groening calls him our secret weapon. It's because if you go back and listen to the CDs, you'll hear just how many styles of music he does. Reggae, rock, jazz, didgeridoo for goodness sake. This jack-of-all-trades skillsmanship is reflected within the show as it explores genres ranging from hip-hop to opera, as well as everything in between. I can't think of any other show that has incorporated so many musical styles and has dedicated entire episodes around them. I believe that the music is an integral part of the show and not only shapes the characters but has shown us other dimensions of who they are. A prime and early example of this is little Lisa Simpson, whose love of jazz and her sax has been the focus point of many episodes, so much so it's part of her identity. She's studious and at times feels disconnected from the family, and when she plays the sax in her bedroom, it's almost as though she's transported into her own little world, much to Homer's annoyance. This passion was really ignited when she met Bleeding Gums Murphy in the season 1's Moaning Lisa, and sang the blues with him in a really lovely moment. This was the first episode of the series to focus on Lisa, and the idea was suggested by producer James L. Brooks, who wanted to do an episode where Lisa was sad, but she didn't know why. This revelation being that she can now express herself through song, which she does frequently throughout the show. And even though Homer doesn't seem to get Lisa's saxy shtick, he has had quite the musical career himself, from forming his own barbershop quartet to a grunge metal band called Sadgasm. Homer also became a world-famous opera singer and obviously has the musical qualifications to become the manager of famous country singer Larlene. Homer was also nominated for a real-life Emmy for his catchy song Everybody Hates Ned Flanders. Even Marge, whose voice we wouldn't ordinarily associate with musical greatness, uses her gravelly but sincere voice to soothe her family in cute, loving moments.
You are so beautiful to me.
Over on Twitter a while ago, I asked what's your favourite musical moment from The Simpsons to fans across the globe, and I received an overwhelming response. I was surprised just how varied the choices were. It made me realise just how many musical moments were in the show and just what they meant to fellow Simpsons fans. And it seems that one song came up again and again and proved very popular. This was of course the monorail song. When the town finds Mr. Burns for polluting, they find themselves with a large sum of money to spend. Lucky devils. That's when Ever the Optimist La Lani arrives to sell them a monorail system. And how does he convince the town to waste all of their money on a monorail? He sings a song, of course.
What I say? Monorail.
The con man dismisses their concerns with a catchy song, swindling the town out of their money with a smile.
Were you sent here by the devil?
No, good sir, I'm on the level.
And to be fair, that song and that smile would persuade anyone. The show is full of these wonderful musical numbers, from Homer's Play It Cool advice,
Play it cool.
that I have to say I sing to most of my friends before their Tinder dates, to Homer's turkey song.
You came and you found me a turkey.
When Apu loses his job at the Quickie Mart, he moves in with the host for the Lost and Found, the Simpsons family. While there, he sings the Emmy-nominated song about how he doesn't need the convenience store anymore and how he's better off without it. Until it's revealed at the very end that he needed it all along.
He lied to us through song. I hate when people do that.
After Bart accidentally breaks the stone gargoyle at a grand old house, he is sent to work there as punishment, prompted by Homer. But when he gets there, he discovers that it's a saucy burlesque house hosted for those naughty Springfieldians, named Maison Derrière.
That means the back house.
However, when the town finds out about this, they do what they do best, forming an angry mob to threaten to burn it down. But before they can, Homer starts a song about the cultural importance of the house. Soon enough, everyone is joining in, even pious Reverend Lovejoy. The jaunty jingle manages to convert the townsfolk into letting the house stay.
We keep the in Springfield.
The song is so catchy, it even won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Music and Lyrics, and convinced more than Ned Flanders. I don't know about you, but I don't know what achievement is more impressive. And who can forget the official Stonecutters national anthem?
We do.
When they swing their overflowing tankards, they reveal their secret society's secret deeds, like leaving Atlantis off the maps and of course keeping the Martians under wraps. The Simpsons are masters at parody, paying homage to everything from Indiana Jones to 2001: A Space Odyssey. They're also not shy to parodying famous movie songs either. In the season 9 episode, The Garbage Man Can, Homer becomes Springfield Sanitation Commissioner after making some crazy promises.
The garbage man.
He sings a song to the tune of The Candyman from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, glorifying what garbage men can do, like disposing of dirty magazines and diapers, and all with a smile. Of course, the reality is much less glamorous. The Simpsons are also no stranger to poking fun at the House of Mouse. They have parodied a number of Disney classics throughout the years, like Homer's Under the Sea riff and my personal favourite, See My Vest.
See my vest.
This number is of course a parody of the classic Be Our Guest in Beauty and the Beast. The episode itself centres around Mr. Burns wanting to skin some puppies to make some clothing, based on Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. They're so catchy that I actually prefer these from the originals.
Na na na. Bart! Sorry, you gotta admit it's catchy.
And then there's Sherry Bobbins.
Did you say Mary Pop?
No, I definitely did not.
The music throughout the episode mirrors the Oscar-winning film, but in a satirical twist. Unlike Mary Poppins, who preaches the importance of cleaning up after yourselves, Sherry Bobbins sings about cutting corners. She's my kind of gal. Instead of helping the family to be better people, they instead break her. The moral of the story: despite the efforts of Sherry Bobbins, the Simpsons will always be perfectly imperfect in every way.
But we're happy just the way we are.
But we could not do this video without bringing up one of the greatest musical parodies ever. In the season 7 episode, A Fish Called Selma, washed-up actor Troy McClure resurrects his failed career by marrying Selma Bouvier. This is in order to clean up his fishy image. The result being that the actor with a fish fetish is hired to star in a Broadway musical, Stop the Planet of the Apes, I Want to Get Off. In a musical retelling of the 1968 film, you have everything, even breakdancing apes and bombastic 80s music. It's absolute genius, from playing the piano for the first time to the callback up to the original film.
Get your paws off me, you dirty ape!
One of the producers, Josh Weinstein, said, "On a personal note, it's one of my favourite things ever because it's The Simpsons firing on all pistons. This musical is everything the show should be and wants to be, and that's why I think it's so great. Screw Wicked, this is the musical I want to see." In addition to movie star cameos, dozens of famous musicians have also lent their talents to the show. Sting, Tom Jones, Aerosmith, Judas Priest, Green Day, Bette Midler and Lady Gaga are just a few who have sung on the show. Michael Jackson also voiced a part in the show, but all the musical parts like Lisa It's Your Birthday were actually sung by musician Kip Lemon. The show have also released several albums throughout the years, but the biggest was The Simpsons Sing the Blues, which was released in 1990 and featured original recorded music not featured in the series. The Simpsons was the biggest thing in the world at that point, so it's no surprise that the album quickly went double platinum. A big part of the album's success was most likely due to the single Do the Bartman. It's the most 90s thing, and it's still annoyingly catchy. I'm not sure if The Simpsons would have lasted the test of time without these musical moments. The Simpsons have celebrated and combined all types of music and introduced viewers to genres that they would not ordinarily be exposed to, as well as shaping the characters beyond spoken dialogue. And without it, we wouldn't have learnt about Apu's deep emotional attachment to the Quickie-Mart, how easily the town can be swayed by charismatic strangers, and their secret saucy underbelly. But I want to hear from you. What's your favourite Simpsons musical moment? Please let me know in the comments below. Finally, I'd like to end this video by saying a huge thank you to my Flying Hellfish unit. We have Timothy, who else but Zane, Liam, Tommy, Steve, Charlie, Sean, Justin, Andre, Stefan, Jake, David, Nicholas, Vincent, Robert, Ashley, Kevin, Rob, Devin, Gadrak, Bailey, Stephen, Edward, Anthony, Nicola, Nerdcentric, Jeffrey and Felix.